For the second week in a row, Colorado's got to fight to the finish. What's going on, folks? This is Coach Marcus Pro Fan Talk. And as expected, Colorado had a tough game. It seems like Coach Prime, every team he gets, he's going to get their best shot. Now, I haven't looked at Colorado State's previous games, so I haven't seen why they're 0-2. Were they tough games? Were they close games? I'm not sure. But all I know is the Colorado Buffaloes got the best effort from the Colorado Rams, from the Colorado State Rams. So it was a good game. Colorado State came out in front. It was mostly that quarterback from Colorado State was pretty good. He could hum it. He could sling it pretty good. Shador looked slow. I don't even want to say slow. I just think Colorado's defense couldn't get off the field, and they kept turning the ball over. So you're not going to win games if you turn the ball over. Travis Hunter had a costly fumble. We'll get to Travis Hunter in that situation a little bit later. But that's one of the things that Dion has to button up. And he said it in this post-game conference, is for whatever reason, the teams were just ignoring that underneath route. And I believe him when he says they worked on it, they watched film on it, but for whatever reason, the kids just weren't picking it up. And that's credit to Colorado State running that same route. You know my logic. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Run it until they stop it. And Colorado State kept running underneath. Colorado kept letting go. And the kids would get the ball in space, make somebody miss, and a 5 to 10 yard game would turn into a 15 to 20 or more. So it was a tough game. Obviously, that coach, Norvell, I believe his name is, had a good game plan. And he wasn't shying away from it. He was bringing the talk and the bravado, and the game got chippy, just like Colorado does. But I will say this. Colorado, for all of the antics and stuff that they do after a big play or on the sideline, never really, at least I haven't, and maybe I'm just not paying attention to it, they don't really do a lot of showboating on the field during the game. At least from my perspective. Now, if you think it's different, please reply in the comments. But for the most part, for somebody that's coached by Deion Sanders and everything you expect with that, they've been pretty subdued on the field. Now, again, when they get over on the sidelines and they got the big throne seat and some of the other stuff, to me, that's a little bit far-fetched. That's a little bit extra. As my sister would say, you're doing too much. But as long as they do it on the sidelines and all of that kind of stuff, it is what it is. Just play the game. What you want to do afterwards, that's your business. But Prime is bringing his aura, his bravado. He's bringing all of that stuff. And you would expect that his kids would be like that. And when they all on the same team, it is what it is. So whether you like it or not, that's what he does. That's his business. And as long as they keep winning, what you gonna say about it? There is gonna come a time where he's gonna catch a L, and then everybody's gonna be the first to jump in line to remind him of that and throw that type of stuff up in his face. But it wouldn't be anything that he hasn't heard before. So, but I do want to get to Travis Hunter, that situation. Now, I said earlier that it's going to be tough keeping Travis Hunter healthy, playing both ways and 100 plus snaps and stuff like that, because the kid is on the wicked schedule. But he's doing it. However, the shot that he took yesterday, I was very curious as to why that was not called unsportsmanlike conduct. Not just a late hit. Because, and again, this is my opinion, if the situation was reversed, right? Or if it was a quarterback that got hit that late, would it have been an unsportsmanlike conduct? Now, you can get up in each other's face and push each other and all of that kind of stuff. They'll throw an unsportsmanlike on that, and then they say if you get another one, they'll kick you out of the game, right? That was not a late hit. That kid was targeting him. He had no chance to catch the ball. The kid knew he couldn't catch the ball. It's one thing if it's a bang bang play. That was not a bang bang play. The ball was overthrown. He had reached for it. Neither Travis Hunter nor the defender could get to the ball. And I believe he had taken like 2 or 3 steps before that safety got over there. And for him to deliver that hit, that was, to me, that was unsportsmanlike conduct. And I thought, in different situations with different players, would he have been thrown out of the game? That's the question I'm asking. Because I believe with everybody and the vitriol that they have and the disdain they have for Deion Sanders and how he's doing things, and by proxy his players, if the situation was reversed, if Shiloh Sanders hit another receiver 2 or 3 steps after the ball was way overthrown and the receiver didn't have a chance in catching the ball, if that had been Shiloh Sanders running up and delivering a late hit like that and taking somebody out of the game, what would the repercussions have been? That's the question I want to ask. Now, if you're going to call something like that, all I'm saying is keep it fair. And that looked suspect to me. That looked very suspect to me. And this is not like in the pros where you do a hit like that and then you'll hear something from the league a couple of weeks or a couple of days later and then they'll fine you, take it out of your paycheck. Well, you can't do that with these kids in college. It's all on the refs, and the refs doing what they're supposed to do. So, you know, the NCAA ain't going to send them a letter and suspend them. You gotta police that on the field. So I thought that was very suspect. That's the only thing it was just a late hit. I thought that there was more than a late hit, and I thought if the situation was reversed, or if that had happened to a quarterback, just imagine if that would have happened to a quarterback a second or two after the ball was thrown when it was clear. I don't think that would happen. And the fact that the kid got hurt because of that play is a bad look on Colorado State. But they let it go. So if they didn't call it, it wasn't a penalty, right? So that's just my opinion on it. I thought that was a very, very cheap shot for the kid. I understand he was trying to send a message, but it wouldn't have surprised me that if he would have got kicked out of the game, but it didn't. So water under the bridge. Now, the problem is that Travis Hunter is probably going to miss the next game against Oregon. And TCU came up. That was a good game, but, you know, now people understand that TCU maybe was ranked a little bit too high, possibly. So now they got Oregon next week, and they're without one of their best players. So they got to make up for that loss. And that is where cheap shots and stuff like that and the resulting injury from it, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's not a good look on college football, and a lot of people want to ignore it because it's Deion Sanders. If it had been Nick Saban or somebody else on another LSU team or Bama or Georgia, one of the big SEC teams, if it had been a team that a lot of people like or that's got a little bit more cachet with it, maybe the situation would have turned out different. So, like I said, if it's going to be done, just keep it fair and keep it consistent across the board. And sometimes we all know that that's not the case. So everybody talks, every coach is going to talk about the next man up attitude, but is the next man up going to be as good as Travis Hunter? Travis Hunter, his play has been stellar, but he's got some issues. And I don't know if it's from fatigue or just not a young kid not concentrating. I don't know. Because he's dropped some big balls that hit him in the hands. He fumbled. He had a costly fumble. Is he a better defensive back than he is a receiver? I don't know. I would say that he is. I would say him being on defense is his best position because he's so fast, he's so quick, and he's got decent hands. I won't say good hands. He's got decent hands because if he had good hands, he wouldn't have dropped all of those passes that hit him in the hands. So that's some things that he can get better with. But I want to see what's going to happen going on in his future because it seemed to me, based on that hit, that was a rib injury. So his ribs are going to be a little bit tender for the next couple of weeks. So he might miss 2 games, at least. So we'll see what happens. When you get shot up with ribs, that doesn't help the problem. That just masks the pain. So a lot of times, especially with your ribs, that affects your breathing, that affects the way you move and turn, rotate your hips, everything. So when you get hit in the ribs like that, that sucks because everything you do, you feel it. Waking up in the morning, getting out of the bed, getting in the shower, brushing your teeth, sitting on the toilet, everything gets felt when you with your ribs. It's one of those things where you don't understand how important it is until it gets hurt. And everything you do, every motion, looking up and reaching up, something out of the cabinet, everything you do hurts because everything happens from the core. So we'll see. I'm expecting him to miss 2 weeks. So these might be the couple of weeks that he takes the L. So we'll see what happens. Let's see if the next man up can be the next man up and produce like Travis Hunter is producing. More importantly, who's going to take his place on the defensive side of the ball? They got other receivers that can put in work. If Travis Hunter didn't start at receiver, I think they would be okay. But the defensive secondary, that's where they need the help. So let's see who's going to be the next man up. So as usual, if you like this content, please hit that subscribe button, click on that notification bell, and I will see you in the next play.